Hi, Pat and Dina. Mayor Brandon Johnson says the hefty deficit is a reflection of the city's ongoing revenue challenges and rising costs. The $982.4 million shortfall for 2025 is attributed to increasing labor costs, a decrease in revenue from state corporate taxes, higher costs for city employee pensions and personnel expenses, a $150 million allocation for ongoing migrant support.
Let me stop right there. Before we get to the rest of this, and let me rewind this a little bit, let's look at this. They have a $982 million budget deficit. Chicago has a $1 billion, because I want to break this down because you know Anton is a C student, but I know math. If it ain't nothing that I know math. I'm a C student, but I'm telling you, and I've been saying this, and people keep telling me that we need to just vote people in based off of identity politics. And oh man, we gonna cook on this one. We gonna cook on this one. Let me move this around a little bit just to see something. They wanna put it off, but let me tell you something. They saying, for example, the revenue decline is largely due to sustained declines in revenue coming in, so tax money coming in. So what that means is it's a lot of people still leaving Chicago, okay? They then go on to say, let me blow myself up. They then go on to say that it's the expiration of one-time budget surplus. So basically they get a one-time thing, but then they factor that into the budget, but that's not something that's sustainable. It's similar to what goes on in Oakland, right? So what happens in Oakland, and I can't wait to break this down in a more extensive segment on the Millionaire Morning Show. So make sure that y'all tune into the Millionaire Morning Show in the morning. It's similar to what's happening in Oakland. And Oakland went through and tried to sell the Oakland A's stadium, which will not be able to sustain them from their police force and all of the different things that they have to do. And they have a brain drain in the place because everybody is walking away. The property values is continuing to go down. They don't have no police force and they have no way to continue to sustain what they've already budgeted for this year. And if they didn't sell the A stadium, they would have had even more layoffs than happening right now because these blue cities are absolutely fumbling and going into the trash. Let me see. CPS, pension reimbursements. Okay, that comes along with being a city worker, which they should have been on a 401k in the first place because large companies have been doing away with pensions, and most of these people don't know how to manage the budget effectively. Increased labor costs. Of course, that goes along with whatever it is that you got going on in the city, right? So you'll increase labor costs. That goes along with inflation. So similar to what happens in the business. If you own a restaurant, you got more labor costs, you got all of these different things, higher food costs, all of that. And so that comes along with it. Cost increases to the pension and so on and so forth, right? But again, if you look up in the upper left-hand corner, it says the corporate fund gap of $982 million forecasted as far as the gap of that. So their budget is massive. They have a massive budget, but they have a $1 billion budget shortfall. But what they're not telling you is this. This is a silver lining, and this is why it's important for me, people like me, and you not just go by what even they say on the news, because they're just reporting what Brandon Johnson told them. But here's the key, though, and I'm a deep dive. As soon as I get my hand on the budget, I'm going to try to get it before the Millionaire Morning Show. And as soon as I get my hand on the budget, we're going to start to break this down. Here's the key. The $150 million budget shortfall for migrants is the extra money that they spending outside of what they've already budgeted for migrants. So let's just say, for example, that they've budgeted $500 million, which I believe is somewhere around there, $500 million a year towards migrants, $400 million, $500 million. Last time I checked, when I was doing a budget and I was going over the budget, because we do this on the Millionaire Morning Show, of what was happening in Chicago, they had already budgeted, and I said what they're going to do is they're going to under budget, because there's no way that they're going to be able to sustain maintaining and taking care of these migrants with all of the hotel payments, with the migrant nursing, with all of this stuff. And that doesn't even account for police services. That doesn't account for what it is that they're paying for them to go to school, Medicare payments, all of that stuff, right? Because they have them on everything. They take care of them, and then those migrants come in and they rob you like they're doing over in Denver, okay? But what they do is they budget $400 to $500 million, and then they know that they're going to go over, and they tap into this rainy day fund over here and this over there. And really, it's going to cost them $700 million because we're not even done with the fiscal year in which they budgeted for. And he's not even 1 year into his term. But what he's basically telling y'all is, I budgeted $500 million for migrants, but I'm still short $150 million. And so that also goes into the $1 billion gap, in addition to all of the pension payments and all of the increased labor costs and all of this stuff. And so these people, these Democrats, they're running your cities into the ground. And I said it, Oakland is going to be the next city to file bankruptcy. Chicago is too big right now, so they just going to suffer. And eventually what they're going to do is they're going to start cutting city services. They're going to start cutting payments to teachers. They're going to start doing all of this stuff. And that's after they go up to Big Daddy Pritzker. They're going to go up to the governor and they're going to ask him for more money and more money and more money. And then eventually Pritzker is going to say, hey, listen. You keep asking for money for public safety and cops and y'all short 2,000 police officers and stuff. You're going to have to learn how to manage your budget. And what they're doing is they basically ruining the city for the constituents, the residents that's been complaining the entire time. They ruining it for y'all, and the city is going to go into the dump. Let me go ahead and hear the rest of this report, and then we're going to break it down from there.
Increase in revenue from state corporate taxes, higher costs for city employee pensions and personnel expenses, $150 million allocation for ongoing migrant support, and the uncertainty surrounding the $175 million payment for CPS pensions. The Chicago Tribune says Mayor Johnson's administration has not ruled out on raising property taxes or implementing.
And then they pass the cost over to you. That's why the assessor's office got people's property taxes up over 86%.
Hiring freezes and layoffs to address the imbalance. The mayor and his budget team have not disclosed official details yet on their balancing strategy, but Mayor Johnson indicated their goal is to minimize potential cuts in city services. In a statement, he says, quote, my administration is committed to finding solutions that balance fiscal responsibility with our obligation to invest.
So you can say whatever it is that you want to say about how you feel about what I think about diversity, equity, and inclusion and identity politics. But I'm going to just tell you, when it starts coming back to the money and you got a fucking school teacher up there running the entire Chicago multi-billion-dollar budget, you would never hire a school teacher to be a CEO of a company. You would never hire a school teacher, a community activist or leader to be man, this is crazy. It's insane. Let them cook.
And the people of Chicago. Together, we will ensure our budget reflects the values of equity, fairness, and shared prosperity.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion again. Let me hear what listen to what he said. Together, we will ensure our budget reflects the values of equity, fairness, and shared prosperity. You in a budget deficit. You in a $1 billion budget deficit. You don't have time. You don't have time. You are suffering. You are burning the city to the ground, and you've only been in office for less than a year. Yo, what are we talking about? Black people, wake up. 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 Right after the Democratic National Convention that was over there in Chicago. Wake up. Wake up. Wake the hell up. Wake the hell up. What are you voting for? What are you voting for? Wake up. What is wrong with y'all? Why are y'all letting these people continue to do what they doing to y'all and y'all won't vote them out and y'all won't hold them accountable? What is wrong with y'all? I can't wait to break down this budget. Ooh, wee. It's going to be a hell of a show tomorrow. Fridays is a little more chill when I do the Millionaire Morning Show, but it's going to be lit tomorrow. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. 40%, 20, 40, 20. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. At least we don't teach budget deficits in the Patreon and the bag chasers. Link is in the description. I can't wait to hear. I have yet to hear anybody that tells me why it makes sense to vote Brandon Johnson, Kamala Harris, Lori Lightfoot, Eric Adams, Karen Bass, any of these people in the office, and they running y'all city into the ground. Y'all crazy.